Hi, my name's Lewis. I just want to tell you about this 04 GMC Yukon that I have. I've had this thing for about 5 years, and it's always had a random stalling issue where if I'm driving at low speed, the thing would just suddenly die. You know, like if I were stopped at a stoplight, or I would be maybe trying to back up, the engine would just die, and normally it would restart. But there was a couple times I remember where it didn't want to restart, and I had to wait about 10 minutes for this thing to do whatever it wanted to do, and then I restarted it. But finally got around to changing the ECU. I thought maybe it was faulty, and that didn't help it at all. So then I thought, okay, it's a ground problem, and I thought, well, let's clean up the grounds. And then I discovered that in GM's infinite wisdom, they decided to hide the grounds where it's just not easy to get to. For instance, this ground strap right here goes to the back of the engine where you can't see it to God knows where, Narnia, I guess. And then you've got a ground wire coming off the battery that goes down through here and eventually hooks up to this bumper here. And you know, why didn't they just put it up on top where you can get to it? I don't have the patience at my age to go clean up grounds like that where they didn't put it out here where I can get to it. Anyway, I decided to make my own ground, and that did cure the problem. This thing hasn't stalled in a week of driving now, where it was stalling pretty much every time I drove it every day. So this is what I did. I ran a wire from the throttle control unit right here, and there's the stud that it mounts on, and there's the wire. And I ran this wire over to the chassis ground. From the chassis ground, I ran the wire over to the ECU. And what I did is I decided to, I don't know if you can see that very well, but I decided to run a self-tapping screw right through a cooling fin on the ECU so it wouldn't damage anything. And then from there, here it comes from there and it goes into this ground here. I just tapped into this wire with something I found at Home Depot. I know it looks kind of crazy, but anyway, it worked. It goes to the battery ground. So essentially I ran my own ground without cleaning up theirs because they're hard to get to, but I ran my own ground from the throttle control body to the chassis to the ECU and back to the battery, not to a chassis ground where it can get oxidized and eventually mess up, but I ran it right back to the battery. And this thing has been running like a champ. It hasn't stalled at all, and there's no engine check light on, and hopefully I solved that problem. So I just wanted to come out and make a quick video and share this information because I know I'm not the only one that's having problems with random stalling issues on a GM product. Anyway, hope this video, if you're having this problem, you might try this solution. It worked for me, and hopefully it'll work for you too. Thanks.